So, our Earth, right? It wasn't always this nice place we know. Imagine like billions of years ago, it was a super hot ball of melted rock. So hot, nothing could live here. This fiery start is how Earth began, about 4.5 billion years ago. Slowly things cooled down. The Earth's surface became hard rock. But then asteroids and comets kept hitting it, like a lot of them. This went on for millions of years. This might seem bad, but it was important. These hits brought water and other stuff to Earth. These things would later help life begin. So even though Earth started super hot, it was slowly becoming a place where life might, just might, be possible. As Earth got cooler, something amazing happened. The water that came from those comets and asteroids, it was like steam in the air. It started to become rain. And it rained, and rained, and rained for millions of years. This made the first oceans. These oceans were not like today's oceans. They were hot and rough, with lots of stuff dissolved in them. Volcanoes kept erupting underwater, making things even more messy. But even then, something special was happening. The water helped things mix and react. Simple things, like tiny building blocks of life, started to form in the ocean. These tiny things had carbon and other important stuff. They were like the first seeds of life. They kept mixing and joining, getting ready for the next big step: actual life. Imagine the oceans, right? Full of tiny things like little Lego blocks floating around. These tiny things, they had carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. They kept bumping into each other. Most bumps, nothing happened. But sometimes, like finding the right Lego pieces, they joined together. Over millions of years, this joining made bigger, more complex things, like proteins and nucleic acids. Proteins are like the workers in our bodies. Nucleic acids, like DNA and RNA, are like the instruction manuals for life. These bigger things were rare, but they were super important. Like you can't build a house with only bricks, right? You need doors, windows, a roof. Life also needed these bigger things to work. These bigger things didn't magically make life appear, but they got things ready. The ingredients were there, waiting for the right moment to start life. About 3.8 billion years ago, something amazing happened. Those bigger things, the proteins and nucleic acids, they joined in a special way. They made tiny things that could copy themselves, the first life. Simple microbes. We don't know exactly how this happened. Maybe lightning gave the energy, maybe it happened near volcanoes, maybe the sun helped. However it happened, it was a big deal. These first microbes, though simple, were alive. They could make more of themselves. They could also change and adapt over time. This was the start of everything, from tiny bacteria to huge whales. Life on Earth for its first billion years was very different. Very little oxygen in the air. Only simple single-celled things lived. But then, around 3.5 billion years ago, a new microbe came along: cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria, also called blue-green algae, could do something special: photosynthesis. They used sunlight to make food from carbon dioxide and water, and they made oxygen as a side effect. This changed everything. As cyanobacteria grew, they put more and more oxygen into the air. This changed Earth's atmosphere, making way for new kinds of life. At first, oxygen was poisonous for many early life forms, but this also pushed life to evolve and use oxygen. The oxygen made by cyanobacteria changed everything. Before oxygen, life was simple, but oxygen, though poisonous to some, gave energy to others. This led to more complex life. Around 2.5 billion years ago, the first eukaryotic cells appeared. These cells were bigger and more complex than bacteria, with their DNA inside a nucleus. These cells became all the plants, animals, and fungi we see today. With more oxygen, life wasn't stuck in the oceans anymore. Around 540 million years ago, lots of new and strange creatures evolved in the seas. Some moved onto land, becoming the first land plants and animals. This shows how powerful oxygen was, and how adaptable life is. From Earth's hot start to complex life, it's a story of big changes. Those early microbes, especially cyanobacteria, changed everything. The air we breathe, the food we eat, all life today, it all comes from those early life forms. They changed Earth from a hot, empty place to the world we know. Knowing how life began helps us understand how precious life is. It shows us that we are all part of a very long story. A story that started billions of years ago and is still going on.